Mike kept on getting all psycho and pissed. He kept on punching him and shooting him.
They got him in the house and laid him on the floor.
Mike's in the bag picking teeth from his skull and playing with his tongue. He's all sick.
I can say his burnt all screwed.
Seth Tyler Jackson was a regular 15-year-old teenager, born on February 3, 1996 in Bellevue, Florida, growing up with his two older brothers and his parents Scott and Sonia Jackson. Jackson attended Bellevue High School and dreamed of joining the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What he didn't know that his aspirations were soon going to end when he started dating 15-year-old Amber Wright. They had been dating for 3 months, but Jackson suspected Amber of cheating on him with 18-year-old Michael Bargo, and this ultimately ended their relationship in March 2011. 1 month later, on April 17, 2011, Seth was hanging out with his childhood friend William, who said that he looked agitated and kept texting on his phone. Amber was on the other side of the phone, trying to convince him that she wanted them to get back together. She indicated that she wanted to talk to him alone and called him to her friend Charlie Ellie's trailer. Seth was no fool. He had his suspicions. He has just won through a bad breakup. For the past month, both has been cussing each other back and forth on Facebook, and Amber repeatedly tried to make him jealous with her new boyfriend Bargo. Seth started challenging Bargo on Facebook to fight with him. At that moment, Seth was unaware of the fact that Bargo was a deranged individual with no moral compass. He had no compassion and no limits to his depravity. Amber had also told Bargo that Seth used to physically assault her. This had built up intense hatred for Seth in him. He also shared this hatred with his friend and Amber's half-brother 16-year-old Kyle Hooper. Kyle also held a grudge towards Seth. He was dating a girl named Alyssa who had recently broken up with him. When he tried to confront her at her house, he found him in bed with Seth. The online fights had escalated to the point of physical fights between Seth and Bargo, in which Bargo lost to a boy younger than him, which hurt his pride to an extent that he was ready to take out Seth. Upon his instructions, Amber lured Seth under the pretense of reconciliation. He texted her back saying, "Amber, if you have me jumped, I will never give you the time of the day, so if I get jumped, say goodbye all right." Seth had a bad feeling about the meetup, but he still loved Amber and wanted to take this chance, if there was even a little chance that they could get back. The plan of Seth's demise was going to unfold at Charlie Ellie's trailer, which she had rented out to Justin Soto, Kyle Hooper, and Michael Bargo. What happened next will be admitted by the perpetrators to the police, and these were Amber Wright, Justin Soto, Kyle Hooper, Michael Bargo, and 36-year-old James Havens III, the stepfather of Amber and Kyle.
How you doing?
Good.
How old are you?
18.
18 years of age. Okay, do you know why you're here?
Yes, sir.
Why are you here?
Because, something happened with Seth.
Something happened with Seth.
Yeah.
Okay, I just need you to tell me the story, and let's start with the other night. I understand that you and Charlie went to another neighborhood or went down the street. Tell me how this all comes about.
Why you think? Why are you here? Okay.
I don't know why I'm here.
Explain to me why you're here. And be honest with me. Totally truthful. Hold your head up.
Okay, Sunday night, Sunday night, Amber and I walked up because her ex-boyfriend was Seth, and they wanted to work things out.
This is Sunday night?
Yes, sir. At 58th Court, it was approximately 9:30.
And who all met there?
Me, Amber, and Seth. Well, me and him were already talking on the phone.
Me and him.
Seth.
Okay, you and Seth. Did Seth call you or did you call Seth?
Well, he had called me a couple days before that and I didn't answer.
Okay.
So I called him that night.
And you and Seth, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? You two had a relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Was he, how was your relationship with him?
Not the best.
Tell me why you say not the best.
We'd always fight. He'd always hit me and cheat on me and all that.
So he was physically abusive to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Who all knew that?
Me, Charlie, my brother.
Okay, so Kyle knew about it. Did Mike know about it?
Possibly.
Was there a lot of people in the neighborhood just that ran around with you guys that knew this?
Yeah.
Because your mom, I understand, knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Seth had called you a few days before.
Mm-hmm.
You called him back, and what day was that? Today's Tuesday.
I think it was Sunday night.
Sunday night?
It was the night that this all happened.
Okay, so you called Seth, and what did Seth say?
Well, it started off, I was like, hey, I know you called me the other day and I didn't answer, but you wanted to make up. So do you want to make up or like try and be friends or something, because I'm sorry for everything? And he was like, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea for the both of us because we're both tired of fighting with each other. But we just wanted to stop the drama.
Okay. So were you guys going to get back together as a couple?
No, we were just going to try and be friends.
Okay.
Because we were friends before we ever dated.
Okay, so you guys went down there and talked?
We were talking for maybe like not even 30 minutes.
Okay.
And his mom, I guess, texted him. And I was like, who are you texting? I thought we were talking. And he was like, my mom told me either right now or never. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess they started arguing, whatever. And then he looked at me. He's like...
Arguing with his mom through
yes.
text? Okay.
And I guess he called her a bitch or whatever. I didn't want to get in it. And then he was like, look, I'm not in the mood to talk right now. I'm getting out of here for now. I'll see you around. And he walks off.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I guess. So Charlie was like, well, do you want to just walk back down to the house? And I was like, yeah, I guess. So we got back down to her house. We were watching TV. And then like an hour later, Seth comes knocking on the door. Charlie answered it and was like, what do you want? And he was like, can I just talk to Amber so we can figure things out?
Did Seth call you before he came down?
No, ma'am.
So he just showed up an hour later?
Yeah. And then I hear a knock at the door. It's Seth. And
So Seth comes back?
Yeah, he came to my house.
And how long was it when
It
you
was
guys...
about an hour.
So an hour after you guys got
An hour
home?
and a half, yeah. And out of nowhere, Kyle just gets up and hits him. Kyle just got up out of nowhere.
What did he say? Did he say anything to Seth?
No. Like, I didn't know that if he... Like, I didn't think anything was going to happen. I mean, because I never knew Kyle would just get out of nowhere and hit somebody like that.
What did Kyle hit him with?
I don't know what he grabbed.
Do you know where he grabbed it from?
It was on the floor.
Okay.
And, like, as soon as he got up and, like, he went towards Seth and hit him, I looked at Charlie. I was like, run. We ran to her room, went in her bathroom, and shut the door.
Amber and Charlie were constantly lying. They tried to shift the blame on Seth, saying that it was Seth who wanted to get back together, and it was Seth who came back to Charlie E. Trailer. The real story came out after the detectives put all the suspects in one room. Believing that they were not being monitored, they started talking to each other about the night.
I had to. They knew we were lying. They knew it the whole damn time.
What they say to you?
So we interviewed, we interviewed Amber.
For a second. Is that your mom's purse?
Yeah.
Let me give your mom.
Did she leave it?
No, actually.
So we've interviewed Amber, Charlie, and no, you can't now. I know you're lying to me. I know all of y'all are lying to me.
So you can sit there and you can continue to lie on me and walk out and treat you like a piece of garbage. Or you can sit here and treat me with the respect that I treated you with. Okay? And you can tell me the truth.
Yes. We were playing guitar. We were all sitting out in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
We were just going on about random songs. I heard Brandon play talking about his tour. After him playing for about an hour, Brandon left and went home. And then my stepdad left and he went home.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike was like,
Then there was a conversation.
yeah, we all went back in the backyard. And Mike was like talking to Charlie and Kyle and me. And he was like, you should call Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, for what? He was like, act like you're gonna hit him. And I was like, for what, Mike? He's like, because I'm gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why are you gonna do that? He's like, because I'm tired of him hurting you. And I was like, okay. So I went into the front with Charlie and I called him
Mm-hmm.
and I told him I wanted to make up. And at the end of the road, and then we walked to Charlie's with us and we walked in the house. And we were sitting there and I guess Kyle and Mike were in
Don't guess, because don't tell me you guess,
I know,
because I know you know.
Yeah, Mike and Kyle were in Mike's room. And I got up from the living room and I was getting a drink. And all I hear was, get him, and the door fly open.
Mike opened the door. I come out. I hit him over the stick, the head.
Where was Seth when you hit him?
He was in the chair,
Okay.
and I hit him over the head with the stick, and it broke 3 times on him.
What was the stick?
It was like I said,
Frame of a door.
basically what it looked like. It, nothing to hurt him. And
How are you gonna knock him out?
huh?
How are
Oh, Roach was supposed to hit him with the bigger stick.
So Soto had a bigger stick.
Yeah.
When you say Roach, you're talking about Justin Soto, the one that's
I
here.
that's what
Okay.
I really know him by.
Roach. Okay.
And that's what really was supposed to do it. And Mike was like, I want him in the bathroom, and I want him knocked out, and I want him to wake up and know that I'm gonna kill him. That's what it was. But it didn't happen like that. I hit him, and he stood up. And when I broke it over his head 3 times, he stood up. And then Roach come in, and then he hit him with his stick, and then he was trying to go through the kitchen, and Mike shot him in the back twice with a gun.
Okay.
And then he was still trying to go out. He was still trying to go out the front door, and Mike just kept on shooting him. I kept on telling Mike, I was like, "Stop it! Let him go! Let him go!" And he just kept on shooting him. And he goes out the house, and Roach grabs him like this and set on the ground and has him choked. And I don't know what he did to his knee, but he kind of messed up his knee, and Roach rolled over.
Who messed up his name?
Roach,
Okay.
Soto, and he rolled over, and Mike come up and shot him in the head, and that's what it was.
And Charlie was like, come in the room, come in the room, come in the room. I walked in the room with her. I was so shooken up. I'm staring at her. I'm crying. She's trying to hold me to stop crying. I'm about to puke from it all. And then they got him in the house and laid him on the floor. And Mike shot him again.
On the floor?
And Mike shot him again.
Was he still alive at that time?
I don't know. I didn't see him.
Then what happened?
And then Mike was like, Roach, get him in the bathroom. And then Charlie was like, Amber, don't walk out there. Don't walk out there. We don't need to see it. And then that's when Mike came in the room when Roach was doing whatever was said. Roach and Kyle, whatever was said. That's when Mike walked in the room with his gun in his hand. And he was like, I love you both, but if you say anything, I'll kill you both.
He was shot outside the house.
All right, in the house and outside.
Okay.
And oh my God, man. And it comes back into, and then I was like, Mike's like, man, grab him, you gotta grab him, Kyle. We can't have nobody. We gotta grab him. And I was scared. I was freaking out, and I'm like, okay. And I grabbed him, and I pulled him up the stairs, and
Grabbed who?
Seth. I started pulling him up the stairs.
Was Seth still alive?
Partially, yeah.
Okay, so he was still breathing at that time.
He was partially still alive, but he was gonna die
Okay.
already.
Where did Michael shoot him in the head?
I think in the back of the head. I think he shot him right in the back of the head.
Who was Soto? Was right the one closest?
Pretty much, yeah. He shot him in the back of the head.
Okay.
And
So you drag him back in the house?
and then Mike helped me, and then they put him in the bath, and then
Who put him in the bathtub?
Roach come in, and he helped put him in the bathtub, and I come in, and then Mike's wanting to break it. I come in, and Mike's trying to break his kneecaps to put
Is
him
he
in a
dead
hog
at this
tie.
point, or is he
Yeah,
still?
he's completely dead.
How do you know that?
Why? Because Mike kept on shooting him in the bathtub too. I heard it outside. Because the girls ran out the back door and went out front.
Shooting him in the bathtub?
Bathtub. Mike kept on getting all psycho and pissed. He kept on punching him and shooting him, and I had to grab him like this to pull him back, and I told him to stop. I said, listen, you need to stop right now.
Who all cleaned the floors?
Me, Amber, Roach tried to, but he was sitting on the couch with his knee or whatever, and then they put the body into the, and then that's when I walked out, and then I was coming back in, and that's when Mike had his leg pulled out like this with some in his hand, some hard, trying to break his kneecap.
What would he have in his hand?
I don't. It looked like it was wooden, kind of. I really don't know what it was. Kind of rounded, but he was trying to break his kneecap with it, and eventually he did, and he put his legs behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hog tied him, and then he put him in the bag.
In what bag?
The like I said, that
Sleeping
that
bag.
sleeping bag.
Okay, then what do you do?
Okay, and then
Where's
then he
Seth
started.
at now?
And Seth, he's in the bag.
Where's the bag at?
Everything got burned. Everything got thrown into that rock core.
They had brutally murdered him and burned his body in the fire pit, then stuffed the pieces of his corpse into 3 paint buckets and put it to the back of Haven's truck. Bargo asked Havens to drive him and Soto to a remote water-filled rock quarry, where they sunk the remains of Seth Jackson into the depths. While the investigators were interviewing the teens, Bargo escaped town, asking Havens to drive him to Stark, Florida, to stay with an out-of-town girlfriend's family. Once there, Bargo proudly announced the murder he had just committed in graphic detail to 4 separate family members and the neighbor. He even regaled them with gory details, like the way he broke Jackson's knees so his body would fit into the sleeping bag. Michael Bargo was arrested at the location the next day. Finally, in the Ocala quarry, a 5-gallon bucket with a plastic bag was found floating in the water, and a diving team found 2 more buckets weighed down with cinder blocks. In June 2012, all of the teens were sentenced to life in prison for Seth's murder, except for Havens, who pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact in 2018. After 9 years in prison, Charlie Ely was released in 2020 after pleading to a lesser charge. Michael Bargo was sentenced to death as the instigator of Jackson's murder, becoming Florida's youngest inmate on death row, and in 2021 the Supreme Court upheld his sentence.